Stephanie Hare is an independent political risk analyst. She joins me here in the studio. Welcome to the programme. What do you make of this exchange of words over timing?
I think it's pretty standard, actually, in any negotiation that both sides are going to come in hard and then be able to have time to walk towards a compromise position. We've got at least 2.5 years, well, about 2.5 years of this, and everyone's looking at the possibility of a transition deal to take us well beyond those 2 years. So it's not surprising to see a harder position taken at the beginning.
But is it a complicated thing to negotiate Britain leaving the EU? I mean, there are only a limited number of possibilities, so one could argue that it could be achieved in that time frame.
I mean, absolutely, and the Foreign Secretary has just said that he thinks the timeline is feasible. The Bank of England Governor Mark Carney says a transition is necessary. We saw the Irish Prime Minister Enda Kenny saying that a transition was necessary as well. Certainly banks and the business community would like to see that transition, and by that I mean something that's going to go well beyond 2019. We're looking at years of this. We're unpicking over 4 decades of legislation. It's never been done before. This is history in the making.
And of course they are left ministers or politicians in a very difficult position of, on the one hand, trying to give some sort of narrative to prove that something is happening, but on the other hand not give their negotiating position away.
Again, which is fascinating, of course, because it's very clear what's on the table, and we've got 27 other countries on the other side of that table, all of whom are giving their positions too. So the EU has actually been very consistent about what it's saying. It's saying that the 4 pillars of the European Union are indivisible, no cherry picking. So that's their hard line. And then you've got the UK saying that we could have things that are a hard Brexit, a soft Brexit. We had Theresa May, the Prime Minister, today saying we could have a red, white and blue Brexit, which as an American was confusing.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure it was. The difficulty is, though, is it not, that the two sides are really, they're on the side of the EU. Initially the stance they wanted was a very tough one, but the underlying sands are moving after what we've, for example, seen in Italy and to some extent France.
Absolutely, and it's in no one's interest to trigger an economic crisis anywhere in the European Union. We have a lot of instability at the moment. We've got potentially 4 elections in Europe next year alongside Brexit starting, so plenty to play with already. So again, there's going to be a lot of noise about this, but I think ultimately this is about technocrats and politicians getting together to get the best outcome on both sides. It's just going to be ugly to get there.
Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.